Hello, my name is Andrew Garland, and today I'm going to be presenting an executive summary of the strategic management research that we've done into Home Depot. This project has been the culmination of a lot of hard work on the behalf of my team, Sharnaya Deschamps, myself, Lucas Berry, Maddie Booth, and Tanner Hooper. So to give a brief summary of what's in store for this presentation, first I'll be introducing Home Depot from a strategic management perspective. We'll be discussing their current strategy and things that they're doing to differentiate themselves from the competition. Next, I'll be conducting a strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threat analysis of Home Depot. Finally, in the second part of the presentation, I'll be moving into recommendations for the company moving forward, pros and cons associated with those recommendations, and finally, we'll give a conclusion. So, if you live in the United States, Home Depot has become synonymous with the idea of home improvement, and in this regard, it needs no introduction. The company has over 2,300 locations in the United States, and they have a diverse product portfolio. Despite their competitors being Lowe's, Ace Hardware, Amazon, Home Depot has still maintained a strong market presence with sales reaching 157 billion in the year 2022. With Home Depot's current industry status in mind, with our executive summary, we really wanted to focus on the two discussion points of Home Depot's current internal and external factors, as well as factors that the company may face in the future. And we wanted to provide recommendations for how the company can approach these challenges. So moving into discussion point one, I want to discuss Home Depot's current strategy. Home Depot's current strategy focuses on expanding its market share, improving customer experience, and investing in employees. The company has committed to its workforce, and this is evident by its recent decision to invest $1 billion in compensation for frontline hourly associates. Additionally, Home Depot has expanded its product offerings through the acquisition of the company store in 2007, which specializes in home decor and textiles. From these moves, we can see that Home Depot is constantly broadening what they offer to their consumer as well as to their employees. They're always seeking to better their employees and make an investment into their future that way, as well as bringing more product offerings to their customers, which will in turn attract a larger customer base. Moving on to the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats analysis of Home Depot. Through our SWOT analysis, we revealed that Home Depot has several strengths, including market leadership, an extensive store network, and a diverse product portfolio, as well as a burgeoning and developing robust e commerce platform. However, the company also has some weaknesses, such as a dependence on the US market. As mentioned earlier, Home Depot has 2,300 stores. However, these are all located in the United States. Also, they have a limited focus on home professionals and contractors. They underutilize their required acquired resources in warehouse style stores, and the warehouse style stores can also be intimidating for some customers who may be unfamiliar with home improvement. However, Home Depot has a lot of opportunities that are facing them currently. Home Depot, like its competitors, has the ability to secure large orders. They have the ability to rent out tools, and this is something that they can look into expanding in the future. They have the opportunity to change the way some of their stores are laid out. Currently, they're using a layout that they've been using for decades at this point. They have the ability to further leverage their acquisition of the company store, in which they can supply even more furniture and home furnishing options for their customers. Think IKEA, think what Target has done with interiors. However, this is not to say that Home Depot is without threats. Some of the threats that Home Depot is currently facing is intense competition. As we mentioned before, Lowe's, Aaron's, some of these other home improvement stores are coming up on their tailcoats and offering different things that Home Depot is currently not equipped to deal with, especially Amazon has the benefit of some of the technology that Home Depot may not be leveraging at the moment. Another threat that Home Depot is facing is changing customer preferences and shopping habits, as well as consumer spending reduction. We've seen a lot of this recently with the current economic times and inflation that American consumers are facing. So now for some of the recommendations that we've designed to ameliorate some of the weaknesses that Home Depot is currently facing. The first of which is to target home professionals and contractors. Home Depot can develop strategies that cater to professionals and contractors by offering things like bulk discounts and dedicated account managers, even tailored services that fit the needs of particular contractors. They can work on building relationships with these contractors so that they know what the contractors are going to be looking for and in what amounts. The next recommendation that we have is to expand the tool and rental services and contractor partnerships. Home Depot can enhance their tool rental services by creating a platform that will connect homeowners with trusted contractors, as well as a platform for tool rentals. The next recommendation that we have is to reimagine their store layouts. So, as I stated earlier, Home Depot has had the same layouts for a very long time, and transitioning from this warehouse style store to a more inviting and consumer friendly space could pay dividends in attracting a customer base that has currently not been tapped into by Home Depot. The next recommendation that we have is to leverage the company store acquisition. So, by capitalizing on the resources available from the company store, Home Depot will be able to expand their decor sections and begin integrating home decor into their offerings. And this can also be tied into the last recommendation that we have by further developing into more non warehouse formats. Next, we have to diversify their revenue streams. So, Home Depot could diversify their revenue streams by entering new markets, international markets, by expanding their operations in Canada and Mexico, and reducing dependence on the US market. And this will minimize the impact of any potential future economic downturns. And the final recommendation that we've developed is to invest in employee development. Home Depot already does a great job of this. They invest in scholarships for their employees. They further their education. They're always looking for ways to better their employees. They give frequent raises. So by continuing to invest in their employees through training programs, competitive compensation, they can continue to attract the best employees and they can continue to retain those employees. Now onto the pros and cons to the recommendations that we've provided, starting with the pros. So the pros of strengthening relationships with home professionals and contractors are that by generating a long-term relationship with a particular contractor can ultimately increase revenue for Home Depot. This contractor with the right kind of relationship with Home Depot can notify them when they're going to be taking on a large contract in which they'll need a lot of supplies. And by working on this kind of relationship with the contractor, we can ensure a bit of a loyalty between that contractor and Home Depot rather than them going somewhere else. And Home Depot could offer them bulk discounts for these types of projects. Another pro for enhanced tool rental service is that it adds to the customer's adds value to the customer's experience. So a customer that may leave with something that needs to be put together might not have the tools to do so. So they could add value to their experience by incorporating something that's in Home Depot's rental um, service. Next, the pros for improving the store experience are increased customer satisfaction and loyalty. By creating a store environment that's more inviting, customers are more likely to feel satisfied when they leave, and it'll keep them coming back. The pros for capitalizing on the merger with the company store is that a broader customer base can be brought in because of that. Former company store customers will be likely to flock to Home Depot, and customers that are looking for things that are just decor based and not home improvement based may be more likely to come to Home Depot. Next, the pros of diversifying the revenue stream are that Home Depot can better weather economic downturn. They can better stick it through in times like recessions. The benefits of employee satisfaction and retention are that Home Depot can generate a stronger workforce, a more loyal workforce, and a workforce that outshines everyone else in their competition. So while the pros for Home Depot adopting the recommendations that we've proposed are numerous, there also are unfortunately cons that come with them. One of the biggest and most prevalent ones is going to be cost. So upgrading store layouts, enhancing tool rental services, and developing partnerships will require a large upfront investment from Home Depot. Now we're certain that over time this will pay itself back. It will require that initial legwork on the behalf of the company. The next potential con is resistance from employees. So, changes in store layouts and operations may initially cause discomfort, especially for employees who have been with the company for a long time. This could result in a lot of dissatisfaction. Um, Training and adopting a new system is always challenging for employees at every level, management to the lowest level of employee. It's always going to be met with a little bit of resistance because, of course, we like the way that things are, and of course, this may result in some disrupted operations in the beginning, but over time, these things balance out as more training gets implemented and such. The next con that's associated with our recommendations is an uncertain return on investment. Now, earlier I said over time, these things are likely to produce revenue generation. However, this is always an uncertain thing. The company may face challenges in establishing this new presence, like moving into a new market. One example of this is Target Corporation. When they moved into Canada, they were met with a lot of resistance, and this ultimately ended in them scaling back their Canada expansion a long way from where they initially started. The next con is increased complexity. Of course, with adding in new stores and new regions, there's going to be a huge layer of complexity. Anytime that a store layout is changed, it may become more complex. Introducing a tool rental service would be a complex thing to achieve, especially if there's new interfaces that customers are using. And these things all have a steep learning curve, and they make the company more challenging and more complex and harder to manage on a day-to-day scale. And the final con that we have is the risk of alienating existing customers. So I'm sure we all can imagine walking into our favorite store, our favorite restaurant, and everything's different. The menu's different, the layout's different, and of course, if these changes aren't something that we identify with, or they are too far of a cry from what we initially liked about the store or restaurant, we might feel a little bit alienated, and it might take some getting used to, or we might take our business elsewhere. So focusing on the professionals and contractor side of the business may alienate some of the people who are just in it for the occasional home improvement project. And this could lead to them feeling neglected, of course, and this may ultimately end in lost business. So, in conclusion, while Home Depot is the industry leader as of now in the home improvement industry, to continue their growth and success, Home Depot must evolve their strategy to better cater to the needs of home professionals and contractors who are a large portion of their customer base. Additionally, they must enhance their in store experience as well as their product offerings. By focusing in these areas, Home Depot can solidify its market leadership, they can improve their customer satisfaction, and they can maintain a competitive edge over their competitors in this rapidly changing industry and retail space. By implementing the recommendations that we've outlined in this executive summary, Home Depot can not only ensure their continued growth and profitability, but they can well position themselves for continued success and continued dominance over their competition for the next 5 years and beyond. This concludes our presentation on Home Depot. These are the resources that we used. Thank you.